Hello, I'm the Irish Guy. This is the Prem Catch-Up. Right, let's see what happened in the Premier League this weekend. Oh boy. Right, let's go. Liverpool 2, Aston Villa 0. So, Liverpool are back. What was everyone worried about, right? I mean, the crisis is over now, right? Surely. Right? No. Liverpool looked back to the best last night. Yeah, absolutely grilling Aston Villa in the second half. They looked confident, peerless, in total control. They were in the mood. Nobody was shying away from the ball. And now I guess everyone is back. Virgil van Dijk is taking shots at the media, saying the noise was ridiculous, but no. I've seen football teams in crisis before, and lads, it's never a quick fix. It's not this easy. No teams lose 6 out of 7 matches and then win one and everything is fine. No, I mean, what? Are Liverpool going to go back to title-winning form now and pretend like nothing ever happened? Like, that doesn't make sense. It would be insane. It would be like seeing your mum vomit all over the kitchen table before going back to making dinner like nothing ever happened. Sorry, what? No. Lie down, or else there'll be chunks of vomit in the quiche. Liverpool can't pretend like there's 4 defeats in a row with just some sort of weird fluke. No, I remember last season. Man City lose 4 in a row and then roared back with a comprehensive 3-0 home win over Nottingham Forest at the start of December. A really comfortable win. Their players looked in the mood. Crisis over, right? No, because they then didn't win any of the next 4 league games, even losing at home to a rubbish Man United. 3 months later, they were letting in 5 at Arsenal, with Haaland getting clowned on by a kid. I remember Mourinho's meltdown in 2015. Reigning champions Chelsea lost 3 games in a row, but then beat Norwich. Chelsea were back, right? No, 2 weeks later, they were losing at home to Bournemouth, and he was soon sacked. There has to be more bumps in the road for Liverpool. There has to be. Whatever was broken was not just immediately fixed. However, give Slot his credit, because this team was massively back to basics. There was only one new summer signing in the starting 11, and that was Hugo Ekitike, who's actually been excellent since he joined. Lads, I'm encouraged by Nick Fulham at a start at Newcastle, sure, but oh no, if you give me the option to hypothetically cancel the German Beanpole's deal in the summer in favour of getting a #1 target, Ekitike, I would have done it. It's unfair because Nick's been scoring goals, but lads, Hugo is the full package. A beast in the air or with the ball at his feet, and his link-up play is better than Isak's. I would have loved him at St James's Park because he's going to be elite. And yeah, I mean, nobody else in the Anfield turf was a newbie. Having a familiar face like Andy Robertson back in the team was a refreshing masterstroke because Milos Kerkez, talented footballer sure, but so far has been gobbled up by the pressure of representing a massive club. This was going back to basics, although Liverpool were gifted a present from a world champion. Seriously, Emiliano Martinez squaring the ball for Salah to tap home. It's the stupidest thing he's done since getting sent off at Old Trafford in May, which is the reason why Aston Villa don't have Champions League right now. Seriously, I thought it was insane that Ruben Amorim did not swoop for Martinez in the summer, but now, if I'm a Villa fan, I absolutely feel as if the Argentinian had just come around my house to puke in my kettle. This was an Onana type of mistake. Awful. But Liverpool, they will slip up again. Just watch. Fulham 3, Wolves 0. Yeah, Wolves lost again. It's sandwich time. Thank you, Wolves. Yeah, I put cereal in my sandwiches. One of it. Thanks, Wolves. Lads, I'm scared for Wolves. I am, because this is the one season where I puffed up my chest and declared that they wouldn't spend even a single minute in the relegation zone. Oh, it just happens to be the season where they look more doomed than ever. 2 points after 10 matches? Are you kidding me? And the Wolves boss, before he got the sack, was recently rewarded with a new 3-year deal. It's honestly ridiculous. You were rewarding him for failure. It was such mixed messages from the board. It's been like your dentist telling you that you need 4 fillings, and in the same breath, offers you a slice of his birthday cake. What? Let's be real here, okay? Wolves look doomed. They've got such a mountain to climb, it is untrue. I remember when Wolves finished bottom in 2004. Yeah. They still had 9 points after the first 10 games. They finished bottom in 2012. They had 8 points after the first 10 games. Now they've got 2. Pathetic 2. Wolves look in massive trouble, and I'm pretty much resigned to, slapping my face with so many sandwiches that by next summer, I'll probably strangely miss them when I've got a summer off from getting bullied by bread. Wolves are having the season I thought Sunderland were going to have. Remember how I said they'd beat Derby County's record low points total? If nothing improves, Wolves are on track to do that, while Sunderland can go second tonight. Look, Vita Pereira did a good job last season, but he's gone. Go out there and get Brendan Rodgers now. I mean, I know it'll be a first, because he never really gets hired for relegation battles, right? So it might stink a little bit of when Forrest appointed Ange, but even if Wolves go down, if they can convince somebody like Rodgers to stick it out with them, then the future is still bright. What you should absolutely avoid, though, is bringing back Gary O'Neill. Lads, I've heard the rumours, and they sound absolutely nonsensical. It makes about as much sense as asking an ogre to kiss your mum. Don't you dare reappoint O'Neill. It was wacky enough for Celtic to bring back an O'Neill, but for Wolves to follow suit and do it too? Why is everybody wanting to bring back an O'Neill? It's such a pandemic right now. Is this just all a big marketing scheme to promote the In-Betweeners reboot? Seriously, is it any coincidence that news broke the internet last month? And since then, football clubs are wanting to bring back a catchphrase from that show. Oh, Neil. Don't you dare bring back Gary. Pereira was brought in to clean up O'Neill's mess. And now you want to bring in O'Neill to clean up Herrera's? Oh, are these two just destined to follow each other around for life, cleaning up the other one's mess? Does Gary pop around with a hoover whenever Herrera's wife poos the bed? Does Vitor go around his when Gary accidentally floods the bath? Like, no, do not bring back O'Neill. It is absolute nonsense sauce. West Ham 3, Newcastle 1. Well, that was rubbish. And because of this game, oh yes, I now need to ask randomers what they think of the name Susan, and also ask them if they like to shove a cake in my face. Don't worry, that is all coming later this week. I'll have those forfeits out probably in my Friday predictions video, or sooner than that. I'll do them tomorrow, okay? And I already know it's going to be a cripplingly awkward afternoon. But look at Newcastle's Premier League form so far. It doesn't look pretty. In fact, it looks about as pretty as a giraffe's crotch. 3 tied home wins and the rest, oh no, 3 0-0s away from home, and now getting banged up by Brighton and then West Ham. A West Ham team lurking in the bottom 3. This is the first time Newcastle lost to a team in the relegation zone since what, Luton 2 years ago? This was dreadful, a truly pathetic Newcastle display. Lads, I said last week that Nuno Santo would become the first manager in Premier League history to be sacked by 2 different Premier League clubs in the same season. Yeah, that prediction is taking a slap to the nose after that, because he just managed to organise this shambles of a West Ham team to comfortably beat Newcastle. Champions League Newcastle. The Magpies went 1-up through a Jacob Murphy strike, and then everyone just stopped playing, and cue the Nick Pope disaster class, fumbling a straightforward Paqueta strike, and then he proceeded to spend the afternoon punching the ball so many times, yet swear he'd found it cheating with his wife. It was hideous, and lads, Aaron Ramsdale pulled off the save of the season against Spurs in the League Cup last week. I know Pope is a mini Newcastle legend for his ridiculous Champions League assist 2 weeks ago, but I mean, is it too harsh to put Ramsdale in net now? Seriously, because Nick Pope during this match might as well have replaced him with a banana in net. Sunderland, if they win, they go second. And already I'm trembling like a petrified frog. Please, no. I will once again look like I've got the intelligence of tea. But look, yeah, the forfeits are gonna be grim. Burnley 0, Arsenal 2. Lads, Victor Gyökeres is hilarious. I didn't realize how many ugly goals he actually scores. Don't get me wrong, I've seen plenty of tap-in merchants in this league before, like Van Nistelrooy and even Haaland sometimes. But I can't remember somebody, especially a new signing, beginning life in the Premier League with so many disgusting goals to look at. He scrapes goals in of players' ankles. He scruffily locks them in with his shoulder and his bum. He nicks these goals at the last minute, where he's so close to the goal he can almost sniff the paint. Every goal he scores is like David Nugent's only goal for England. Seriously, his catalogue of Arsenal goals so far, they look minging. His Arsenal highlights package probably looks about as appealing as watching the video off the wing. I generally think if somebody is brave enough to compile all of his Gunners' goals so far, then yeah, anybody who then sits through that monstrosity will probably be terrified to hear their phone ring. I'm not dissing Gyökeres because, hey, he's in the right place at the right time, and this is what you have to do. Snaffle up goals any way you can, but oh boy, they are grim to look at. Can this man please just score a banger or something that's even remotely aesthetically pleasing? Because yeah, his goals are uglier than cow poo. Nottingham Forest 2, Man United 2. First of all, okay, I do not care about that kid who won't cut his hair. Why is this in national news? Now, I know, I am one to do stupid forfeits, and later this week, I'm going to be creeping people out outside Aldi. I can already taste the chocolate cake. I mean, lads, just last week alone, I smooched so many doors I can still taste the paint. I mean, seriously, have you ever tried kissing doors? Don't do it, okay? Because you'll instantly make yourself look weirder than somebody with a crush on the Shrek Pinocchio. But yeah, lads, no, if there's one forfeit that irritates me, it's somebody saying they refuse to cut their hair unless their team wins. Because what if this kid secretly likes having a bird's nest on his head? Is it really that big a deal? When Manchester drop points, people are showing huge amounts of sympathy for it.
Just wanted bro to be able to cut his hair.
Yeah, this is the same member of the Sidemen who said I was both good and bad at football.
Nah, what is it? What is it? It's like he looks good and bad playing football at the same time, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah, my brand of dribbling confused Top Jizzle more than if I'd asked to lick his eyebrows. But lads, people are acting like Man United are having to force this kid to do a dreadful forfeit. Like if Man United don't win 5 games in a row, then he's gonna have to saw off his foot and plop his toes in an ice cream. You're acting as if he's gonna have to make whoopee with a polar bear. No, he's growing his hair. Big whoops. And maybe this particular forfeit annoys me because back in the day, I remember a former Premier League manager did exactly this forfeit as a player, saying they wouldn't cut their hair until they scored their first goal of the season. Know who it was? Gary O'Neill. Somebody who I like about as much as I like eating vegan toast. Back in 2006, both he and his Portsmouth teammate Sean Davis made a pact that they would not cut their hair before they scored their first goals of the season. Yeah, O'Neill embarrassingly had to wait until January, by which stage his hair looked messier than the plot of Spider-Man 3. Davis didn't score a goal and embarrassingly just gave up and cut his hair anyway, just because Gary had scored. I don't know why this forfeit annoyed me, but it did. And so, similarly with this Man United kid, I don't care if he never cuts his hair again. I don't care if he's a 50-year-old man with hair down to his hips. I also don't care if he cuts it all off tomorrow in his pajamas with it. I don't care. But look, I thought this game would be a draw. and it was a draw. I knew it. I knew that both teams would turn up and share a point. To me, it was about as inevitable as the purple Teletubby now having a husband called Carl, Sean Dyche and Ruben Amorim. Very different managers, but they were always going to cancel each other out. And they did, with Amad Diallo whipping in a late volley to steal a point. But lads, he nearly scored a last-minute winner. His shot was cleared off the line, and lads, if it wasn't, that would have been Manchester United epic scenes. Are you kidding me? A last-minute winner to score 4 wins on the bounce to move you second in the league? It would have been one of the most epic moments in the club's recent revolting history. Because make no mistake about it, they've had a terrible time since Fergie left, but they've also had some brilliant moments. Off the top of my head, the Mata volley at Anfield, the Rashford penalty versus PSG, and weirdly, Kami Mainu versus Wolves. Oh yeah, and I guess Maguire against Leon and Liverpool too. This would be up there. A last minute 3-2 winning Nottingham Forest. It would have stunk of the Rashford winner versus PSG under Solskjaer. But no, Marino had to scoop it off the line. So in the end, an anticlimactic 2-2. But lads, this was so close to being an epic Man United moment. And I mean truly epic. Tottenham 0, Chelsea 1. This was terrible. A game that almost bored me to sleep. Look, Chelsea were efficient and by far deserved the win, but lads, Spurs. When we think of Tottenham, we think of an exciting front-paced team who win nothing but score loads of goals. When I think of quintessential Spurs, I think of 2007 Tottenham. A rubbish team that only won one of the first 12 matches. They weren't a serious threat to anyone, but that season alone, a 3-3 draw at Fulham, a 2-2 draw at Liverpool, 2 4-4s with Aston Villa and Chelsea, and there'd be another 4-4 the next season with Arsenal, and there was a 6-4 home win over Reading. That's the match, actually. That is the game I think of when I think of Spurs at its best. That Christmas match against Reading, 6-4. That is Spurs to a T. Concede loads, score loads, and entertain the fans. In that game alone, they spat Berbatov, Keane, and Defoe all out onto the pitch. 3 guys who, I mean, if they were in their peak now, would be the Division 3 best strikers after Haaland. What? Isaac's dead to me, alright? I like to think about him about as much as I like to think about hippos mating. But lads, that match was what Spurs should be all about. This is not. The players booed off after showing zero attacking football. Look, I don't want to waffle on about XG like some bald nerd who's got a crush on his cousin and who secretly sports something like that. No. However, Spurs XG was 0.05. Their lowest on record in a Premier League match ever. 0.05. So there was statistically about as much chance of them scoring a goal at their own stadium as there was of me getting married to someone dressed as the Hulk. There is statistically about as much chance of squirrels taking over the planet, and that in 25 years time we'll all be collecting conkers and talking in squirrel language. There is a 0.05% chance of those things happening. The same there was of Spurs sending a goal. It's a disgrace, a complete disgrace. Poor old Xavi Simons. This is the Tottenham version of Wirtz, and he suffered the double embarrassment of first being dropped for this match and then being subbed off in this match. And now the Dutchman has the entire internet on fire, with Spurs fans having fully given up on him, talking about him as if he's some plump rubber duck who peaked at 12. He's a former Barcelona Academy number 10. So was Giovanni Dos Santos. He joined Spurs during that time period which I mentioned earlier when Spurs were proper Spurs. And yeah, he never cracked North London. And was soon on loan at Roy Keane's Ipswich. Is Simmons an expensive Dos Santos? Because so far, he's looked terrible. Good win for Chelsea, but Spurs need to start being Spurs again. Because whatever this is, it's boring. Is this what happens when a team like Tottenham appoint a set-piece coach? It's mad how Ange Postecoglou's last 3 football clubs have now completely washed away any scent of it, any lingering smell of his cologne, by fully going out there to appoint managers who have set pieces more than their mum. Brighton 3, Leeds 0. It's happening, isn't it? Lads, a lot has been made about how refreshing the relegation battle is this season, considering all the new promoted clubs have looked good, right? The fact that not a single one could right now be found at the bottom 3 is refreshing. It's a bit like visiting your nan's nursing home and being pleasantly surprised that you're not hit by the waft of poo whilst trying to butter a scone. It's a welcome surprise, a bit like when you don't find a fingernail in that hot dog you bought from a van. However, Leeds are like Luton, aren't they? Because they were a breath of fresh air for a few months. A plucky young underdog who came up from the championship more competitive in every match before Christmas, but then fell away and went down. Please tell me this not going to happen to Leeds as well. Please tell me that after all this, it's not just Leeds and Burnley going down with Wolves, because that's not refreshing. Oh no. That's boring. Seriously boring. Like waiting all day for a cow to sneeze. Man City 3, Bournemouth 1. Man City are going to win the league. I love little old Bournemouth, but lads, City have everything they need to win the league, including the best centre forward on the planet. People have massively written them out of the title race, which I think is ludicrous. They've got the most successful coach on the planet, the best goal machine, and a squad littered with still supremely talented footballers. City are going to win the league for fun. Crystal Palace 2, Brentford 0. Quality win for Crystal Palace, and John Mateta, he's good, isn't he? Oh yeah, and, what was the 4 for this week? Roll the clip, Pingu.
What I want you to do, when I finish top of the leaderboard, is basically if you could go onto classic football shirts, and if you want to search Derby County, and whatever the most expensive one is, come the time, that'll be your forfeit if I am top. So,
yep. This shirt is disgusting. Look at it. Look at the state of this. Look at it. Are you mad? People wore this in the 90s? This looks horrific. I look and feel like a clown. Like, this is genuinely horrific stuff. Oh, look at this. Oh, no. No, Pingu. This absolutely screams football hipster. This seems like something they would wear on, the kind gents who go on Saturday Social. Oh, this is horrible. And to windscreen. I'm reading it upside down, okay? This is awful. This is horrific. I paid money for this. Like, I'm gonna have to go hungry tomorrow. There's no lunch for me. I'll just be chewing pencils. Like, I hate it. I actually hate it. And, I paid money for this. Thanks, Pingu. Thanks a bunch, mate. And he's not even going to see this. None of them see this. It was a year ago. Like, people, last year's guests aren't watching these videos. They don't know. He doesn't know. This is just for my benefit and yours. It's a horrible shirt. I hate it. I do. Anyway, that is the end of the video. Enjoy the video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Oh, he's not talking in a while. Well, it's a present for my mum, all right?